Hey friends, welcome to the Stationery Cafe After Dark. This is our special video we do for our patrons, and we're really happy to have a very special guest with Kelly and I today, and that is CY from Tokyo Inkling. He's actually the co-host of another podcast that talks about pens and stationery, and he's based in Japan. So hey CY, welcome to the show.
Hey April, hey Kelly, how's it going? Always really happy to talk to you. We chat all the time on Instagram, but yeah, always good to see your faces and hear your voices. So thanks for having me.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
What's everyone drinking tonight? Or in the
Um,
morning for
well,
CY.
maybe I can go first. So I brought this out especially for you, April, because I know how much you love melon soda. So here I am drinking Fanta melon soda
Oh my goodness.
right here,
Nice.
and
I
yeah,
bet it
it's
tastes as good as it looks.
It
oh
looks
yeah,
just like
it's
that
great.
pen.
It does.
Right
You know what would
there.
have been good if they had made the cap red?
Oh,
Oh,
with the cherry.
well, they
Isn't that
had
little
that. They
finial?
had the pink finial though.
No, I mean on the drink.
Oh, the
Oh,
bottle. That's a good point. They missed
extra.
something there. And Kelly, what are you drinking tonight?
I've got some English breakfast tea with cream.
At 7 p.m.
Yeah,
Perfect.
sounds like you
You
should
know
be in
what?
Japan.
I don't care about caffeine and tea. I can just drink it and fall asleep.
Definitely hear that.
And it's just water here. I'm living the melon soda spirit through the cap.
Nice.
So nothing too special. But today is a special episode because we finally got CY here, and Kelly and I and CY, we actually have like a group chat on Instagram, and it's usually just Kelly yelling at CY to get him a pen. So it's just, we're really glad to bring it
I mean,
above the
maybe.
surface today and talk about fun pen stuff. So, let's actually start with the most recent news.
Sure.
At the time of this recording, it is the second day of Tokyo International Pen Show.
That's right.
And
Is it
yes,
already day 2?
it's day
It's
two.
day 2.
You're in the future and it blows my mind every time.
And
Right.
yesterday, when it was the first day, CY and his co-host Jacob from Fude Fan from Tokyo Inklings actually did a live show together at the pen show. Like, you guys are pressed this
Yep.
year. Were you pressed before?
We were
Like,
pressed last year as well.
Oh, so
last
cool.
year as well?
Yep.
So awesome.
You mean
We're
in
pressed every year.
2019? Or
No, I mean in 2020 because we didn't
They
start
did
the
it anyway.
podcast until 2019.
Oh, gotcha.
No, until
Okay.
2020. Yeah, we started last year. So we started
Yeah.
a bit
Okay.
after the Stationery Cafe actually. We
cute.
started up in March 2020,
Mm-hmm.
like just at the beginning of the pandemic. We'd been talking about starting a podcast for like years, and then you know those things like if you don't go and do it, nobody will do it, and that's
Yes.
kind of like one of those things, right? So I was like, all right, like you know what, I'm just gonna go out, buy a mic, and be like, hey Jacob, we're gonna do the podcast this weekend, for your calendar. So that was kind of how it started. And initially we did 4 episodes of weekly podcasts, and Jacob is actually quite an important person in his company.
Oh, I see.
uh, and he works in a very big company, so the schedules just didn't work out for weekly. I would have loved to keep doing weekly,
Mhm.
but Jacob's like, hey, can we do monthly? I'm like, absolutely not. uh,
You need to be here at least twice,
Yeah.
and once every 2 weeks.
yeah, so that's the compromise that we came to, right?
Ah.
Once every 2 weeks, and I think it's a pretty good recording cadence, because I think if we
It
did it
is.
every week, like I think the episodes might be a little bit shorter, a little bit more rambly, but yeah, I think once every 2 weeks, because our focus is quite small, right? Even within the small community of stationery,
Mm-hmm.
our community is especially small.
You guys are
So-
the more niche, but you guys dive deeper. I feel like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how we kind of think about
That's
it.
right.
And 2 weeks gives you guys just enough time to really gather the information, to really like talk more about a single topic instead of Kelly and I would just ramble about new stuff because they keep coming out and it's like it always ends with okay, it's going into my shopping cart.
But you have more, right? Because you have like more like general sticker, washi, etc.
The stationery niche
Yeah.
expands beyond fountain pen quite a lot, and
Exactly,
in Japan the speed of it coming out is pretty fast, so we're lucky there.
Too fast.
Too fast.
I know, God.
And not just Japan, like Taiwan, Malaysia,
Exactly, yeah.
America, we cover kind of all around.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's kind of different there, but we always go to Tokyo Inklings for the insider news, the really deep like fountain pen nib information. Like half the time I listen to your podcast, I'm like, I don't understand what that is, but it's very cool.
Yeah, but I want to buy it.
I know. Kelly learns more about your episodes than I do.
Well, mostly I keep telling my customers at Oblation, I'm like, when they ask about Tomoe River, I'm like, please go check out Tokyo Inklings because they tell you all the things you need to know, and I don't know it all off the top of my head.
And for people watching this, like, check out the live you guys did because Jacob shows something really new, and I feel like anyone who's interested in learning about Tomoe River.
I was doing stuff last night.
Wait,
but
you didn't watch it?
No, because I was doing stuff last
Kelly,
night.
kick her out. Kick her out of here. Mute that girl. Mute her.
Mute. I know, Kelly.
I want to watch it.
We were chatting, and then at the end of it, I was like, Kelly, I just watched the whole live at Tokyo International Pen Show. What are you doing?
And you watched it live too. You
did.
stayed up. Thank you so much.
I was the whole time just watching because Jacob was like, you and Jacob were like showing all the new pens. I was checking to see if you were successful and something we'll talk about in a bit.
Right.
And then so I really recommend. And you guys are on Twitch now. Tokyo Inklings is the account, right?
Right.
And then
yeah.
also Instagram as well, which I imagine you guys will be doing more lives in the future. So that's really, really fun and exciting to look forward to.
So the idea really behind the video is to show stuff at shows. So maybe I think in the future if we go to like some Wagner events, so those are like the kind of old boy clubs events, or if we do like a live gathering, we might go for a live format, especially if it's not too many people. If there's like 7 people, then we obviously can't do videos of everyone. But if it's just 2 of us at an event, we'll probably try to do that, and that's what our Twitch TV account will mainly be for. I don't think we're gonna do like video podcast form. I know some people do that on Twitch TV, but I don't think that we have the bandwidth to actually go and edit that. So mostly
you gotta
we'll
save the videos too because they actually get expired like after 14 days or something.
Yeah. It's actually already uploaded to YouTube as well. So Kelly, you're saved from your 14-day time limit.
You have to watch it. It's so good. Like they show off a lot of cool things and. Our friends and I were just hanging out in chat, being goofy.
And maybe we could just get into that stuff because maybe your viewers, might not have watched the show, but
or me.
I'm gonna.
So actually, why don't you preface what is Tokyo International Pen Show? Because our audience actually might know only a little bit about fountain pens. So how big is this event?
Sure. Let me talk a little bit about what Tokyo Inklings is, who I am, and then I'll get into the show.
Absolutely.
All right, so my name's CY, and I run the Instagram account Tokyo Station Pens. The idea behind this account and this whole project is that there's a lot of love for Japanese stationery in general, but particularly fountain pens is my focus, and there's not a lot of information online about these products. So there's several reasons for why that is, right? The first is because it's very hard to understand the Japanese language. Not everybody understands it, and there aren't that many non-Japanese people in Japan to begin with. If you think about the general demographics, right? So that's the first reason. Second reason is that Japan is a very isolated market in the sense that they don't feel the need to have overseas expansion. If you look at,
I feel deeply on that part.
So annoying.
if you look at companies from like Taiwan, the market is not that big internally. So in order to be competitive, they really actually have to go abroad. So you look at these companies like Twisby, you look at like Fine Writing International, you look at, even I think it was I forget what company it was. Maybe it was
That brass one, right? Like the studios.
that's
and-
Fine
Y
Writing.
Studio?
Yeah. But I'm talking about the notebook company. I think April, you probably have some. I think it's a Fleur something.
Oh, Fleur Lab or something?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
Yes.
they were saying. I mean, everything was in Chinese, but they were saying, hey, if you want to order overseas, like, we can still be able to get that to you. Whereas if you ask a retailer in Japan, hey, can I buy your stuff? I'm willing to pay like even a little bit extra for you. They're like, nah, we're not interested in that.
We
Right.
don't understand English. No thanks.
Yeah, go away.
Go ride on your bald eagle and eat some
Right.
burgers.
Yeah. And Kelly, you lived in Japan for a while, so I mean, you must understand what I'm talking about here, right? Like, it's like, oh, you don't speak
Yes.
Japanese? I'm sorry, don't speak English. Go somewhere else. So there's this kind of like attitude, and there were two influential blogs, right? There are two influential blogs that were here. The first one is by a man called Ross Stutler, but he stopped writing some 16 years ago. So he's still around. He's still here, but he stopped writing a long time ago. And he's actually the one that brought Nakaya into the U.S. and made it very popular. So I think I would single-handedly attribute him to the success of Nakaya now, because before he introduced Nakaya to the Western market, Nakaya was actually struggling to sell any pens at all. So and they weren't doing urushi back then. So they were only doing celluloid and sometimes plain ebonite. So yeah, that was very interesting. He brought the kind of urushi craze to the U.S., so to say. So that was the first one, but he stopped writing a long time ago. And the second one is by a man who goes by the name of Bruno Taut. Now Bruno Taut and I have a bit of a history, especially I think after the COVID crisis, when he started saying some like racist things. So we don't talk to him anymore.
Oh no.
But-
I think I remember
Yeah.
that episode
Yeah,
when
he
you
was
shared
calling it like Chinese virus and all these Trumpian
Come
things.
on. That's so
And-
tired.
Yeah, and it's like, there's some history behind that, but I have to say that his blog was very, very influential, because it was one of the only sources that you can get in English. So, his blog was mainly focused around vintage pens, though. So it's very like black pens, like going really into the history of like this particular engraving and like the difference between like this subtlety between like this cap band and that cap band and stuff like that. So it's really more geared towards the traditionalist part of the hobby, I would say. And there was nothing really talking about like, hey, like what's Sailor doing in the market? That's very interesting. Where's Pilot going? So Jacob has his website, and I have my website, and we started thinking about how can we bring like the contemporary information to people who speak English.
Yep.
So that's how the project got started, and then we got together because obviously we had a similar idea, even though our interests are different, and we said, hey, let's start a podcast. So we talked about it for like a year, and we started Tokyo Inklings. And again, the idea is really to bring information about Japanese stationery, but especially the fountain pen and fountain pen adjacent sphere to the English speaking market.
Perfect. So
Yeah.
good.
And so the Tokyo Pen Show is actually a perfect amalgamation of that, because in the previous years, this is I think the fourth or fifth edition of the Tokyo Pen Show. I think fourth, yeah. So the first year they were in Asakusa, where I actually live. So they were there, and it was mostly a generalist stationery show and not much pens. The second year, which was 2019, they managed to get
Very new.
they managed to get a few pen vendors even from outside. So they got Franklin Christoph in here. They got Mora Pens. They got Ian Schoen to come, and
He came this year too, right? Like I saw.
he didn't come. I mean, we
saw
got
his booth.
Ian Schoen, right?
Yeah.
So he has a he has a Japanese distributor here
Nice.
who helps him
Okay.
with everything. But the second year they came, Franklin Christoph came. I think Franklin Christoph must have been very surprised because at the U.S. shows everything sells out immediately, right? Here, nobody was interested in their pens.
Oops.
So it was more like a holiday for him, right? And again, the booths that got the most attention were Kobayashi Bunkan for their inks.
Of course.
It was Bunga Box, but a lot of inks. We had Kingdom Note come show their inks as well, but mostly it was like an ink and maybe paper show. So there was a lot of talk about how this wasn't really like a traditionalist pen show in the sense that it didn't have
Pen
like
specific
Right.
show.
yeah, and everything or a lot of things that they had at the show were things that you could already buy in the retail stores.
Yes, I see.
And like Sailor came in, they were like, oh, this is our Sailor.
Our regular
profit or
lineup.
Yeah, and we're like, hey, what's the point of buying these pens then? So last year, obviously there was a pandemic. We couldn't get the international people out here, and I think from last year, what was very interesting is that some of the more specialty people came. So we had like urushi artists who came to the show, who set up tables selling like their urushi stuff. They didn't come back this year because one pen cost like $8,000. So they were looking at the wrong audience. But we had a bunch of different more let's say interesting like new developments, like things that people would like to see at a traditional show. Those actually started coming last year, and then this year, as we talked on the live show, we had a lot of really cool, interesting new pens, new makers. Like last year was the first time Drillog came to the show, for example. It was the first time they showed their pens. And this year we had Loretz, who's, I think, in my opinion, doing something even more interesting than them. So the Tokyo Pen Show, I think next year, hopefully, we're going to have, fingers crossed, we're going to have international travelers, and you two will be here as well.
Yes.
We'll do a live show from here.
Oh my god, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
And that's why it has always been called the
Right.
Tokyo International Pen Show,
That's right.
And
That's
because
right.
it draws people from abroad as
That's
well
right.
to try to bring a lot of diversity.
Yeah.
Like from the live show I watched yesterday when you guys were doing, there was a lot of cool pens, like the one with the interesting holder, like all that kind of stuff, and like pen rests and all that. So I'm really looking forward to going next year if we can.
Yeah.
If we can.
And I mean, it's going to be huge because like yesterday was crowded. There were a lot of people. And they already limited the ticket sales, so it's not like anyone can show up and just go in. So we'll see the numbers at the end of the show. But it was a lot. So definitely, I think you should plan to come for this show. And then maybe stay until the end of December because there's Bungo Joshihaku.
Exactly.
gosh.
Make it a whole trip, like to attend
Yeah.
all the events.
Yeah, work from home.
Well,
Or
I can't work from
Japan.
home though.
long,
just
long,
tease people.
long vacation.
You don't know Instagram sales? Just put an iPad.
That's true.
I know it could be a business trip for Oblation, picking up some
mean,
cool Japanese new things to
saying.
sell.
I mean, do the owners of Ablation watch this show?
They
Watch this show?
Yeah.
Oh
they
no.
should.
they probably should.
I know. Right?
We actually did you even show them last episode where we
Oh,
tore
nope, I didn't.
Oblation? Kelly.
I didn't even think to.
She's just doing
'Cause
things
my
behind
manager
her
was-
her boss's back. That's all.
Well, my manager was like, "Just do it." I'm like, "Okay."
So I love the motif behind Tokyo International Pen Show. It's always been penguins, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
it's a penguin. I
yes.
think Kaoru-san likes penguins.
oh, the organizer. And do
That's
they have
cute.
like a good relationship with San Francisco Pen Show? Because I saw them kind of like shouting out each other. Like, is
Yeah.
there something? I know
Yeah.
the International
Let
Pen
me-
Show people actually went to San Francisco once too.
Let me give a little bit of background on the people who organize the show. The main organizer is a lady called Kaoru-san. She's the owner of Bunga Box.
Oh,
And
Oh,
Bunga Box
I didn't know
is-
she did the whole thing.
wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Kind of like sponsored, created by Bunko
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why Bungo Box is always very, very huge at the show.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does indeed. But yeah, it's mainly run by Bungo Box, and then there's Eboya, who's also helping run the show, and then there's a third person, and I believe he's actually based in the U.S. and his name is Bruce from Think
Yes.
on Paper. So that's thinkonpaper.co.
I met him at the San Francisco Pen Show this year.
Yeah. So
And we talked about Tokyo.
So yeah, these are the people who are Bruce Sayman. He's one of the guys who's helping to run the show. So these people come together. Obviously, there are more people involved. Bungo Box's Kaoru-san is distinctive because she was the one who started to go to U.S. shows bringing Bungo Box stuff to the U.S. So I think she started at like the Triangle Pen Show, and then she went to like San Francisco, and then I think maybe she even did DC one year. Eboya, also one of the few Japanese vendors who went to the U.S. to sell their pens because Eboya is actually very popular in the U.S. So my idea is that they went to all these shows and like, hey, we don't have this in Japan.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. They basically brought it back from the U.S. because there was this thing.
Oh, that's so fun.
Exactly. Because there are pen shows in Japan. I mean, they call them pen shows, but they're mostly organized by department stores. So you have like these retail events where like Nakaya comes, Pilot comes, blah 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 blah. But and they have their exclusive, but it's not like anybody can come. It's like manufacturers, right?
All everyone.
Yeah. So and it's usually in these like department stores, like inside their sales space. So it's not that big. Like the Marazen show that happens every March. That's always very exciting, but it's not like a show as what you would consider a pen show. So
it's not like PenCon.
Right. So I think what happened is that they were talking to the organizers of the San Francisco Pen Show, like people like Ricky, and Ricky actually came to the Tokyo show in 2019. I met him, and I think they were talking about how they can bring this kind of idea to Japan. So I think that's why you have this special relationship between like SF and the Tokyo show.
That's
so
good
maybe
to
they're
know.
sister shows.
For people who want to taste and couldn't go into Japan, like, maybe going to one of these shows in the US is the way to go to see what it's like. Because yesterday from the live show, I can kind of glimpse a little bit of the background. It looks very organized. It's like booths, right? And then like people can walk up to it. I'm curious, what kind of crowds comes to the Tokyo International Pen Show? Yeah,
that's really interesting. And for a more in-depth view on like the venue, our friend Inky Rocks is going to post a video, and she'll do like an entire tour of all the booths and stuff. So definitely check her video out. And I was talking to her, and very interestingly, the woodworking is really huge in Japan, and so the several tables that were most crowded. The first one was this shop that sold like wooden ballpoint pens, and that was the only booth where they had like those like fencing for like crowd control.
I see the little strings.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they had like I swear there was at least 100 people in the line.
For ballpoints?
Wait, the show started at 1:00. People started lining up at 8:30 for those ballpoint pens.
Oh my goodness!
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why?
Yeah, it was crazy.
I can think
They're
that like Japanese wood, like the different texture, the smell. I think that probably plays into it. It felt more sacred and more special. Maybe that's why. But
and I think the price is also different, right? I mean, like a $50 ballpoint or a $500 like fountain pen.
I see. Yeah. Nice.
And then the second thing that was very popular was Ferris wheel press. And Ferris wheel press is, I think, in my opinion, overpriced ink. In my opinion, overpriced ink. However, they are selling their marketing, right? They're selling their story, and I think
That's
they
what
do
I've heard.
an exceptional. They do an exceptional job at it. Their branding is really top notch. Especially they've not been around for long. This branding is like spot on bullseye for the Japanese like lady audience.
The
True.
latest episode, not sorry, episode volume of the stationery box thing, Ferris wheel press is just right up
Yeah.
there on top of it, looking like a perfume bottle, and it's just like I knew it's time, like it's in a matter of time that they actually hit into the Asian market, especially with the ink ladies.
And they have now collaborations with a lot of different stores as well. They have a collaboration
like
with
Ginza
Tsutaya.
Tsutaya.
Yeah, which is crazy because that's a huge name. I mean, I don't know if I can't oversay how enormous that is, right? Like that's absolutely huge. Everybody in Japan knows Tsutaya. It's absolutely a huge win for them. They've been doing stuff with a shop called Paper Tree, which is a calligraphy based store here as well. I really want to go out there one day to see what it's all about. But they're really, striking a balance, I guess, between their marketing and their targeting to these like calligraphy ladies or the ink ladies out here. So
I wonder if when will their ink quality, not to say it's bad quality, but like the interestingness of the ink will catch up to the name. That's what I'm wondering, right?
Yeah.
If you say it's overpriced ink, then it's just like really not that special enough to garner that price. But when will it match that?
I think that the inks are interesting, but they're like, what, $40 a bottle?
Okay, wait. Are you talking about for you guys over in Japan or for us?
Well, for you.
So for me, like, okay, we at Oblation, we're selling these is 38 mils. These are, I think they're $22.
Then it's the import margins we're talking about here.
But did you say $22, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so a bottle of 50 millimeter Iroshizuku is $12 here.
Yeah.
What? That's nuts.
Yeah.
So it's the cross country import margins.
I want that.
I see.
$12.
Yeah. So that's what I mean when I say, hey, like, what's the and it's 38 millimeters, so milliliters. So it's a bit overpriced, and I know that they put a lot of water into their inks. That's how they get that incredible shading, which is fine. I think watered down inks are absolutely fine. I think they're beautiful. I love desaturated inks, but I think they're older, like rounder bottles. In terms of design, looks beautiful. Looks like perfume bottles, but you can't put a nib inside.
That was my questions to Kelly before, like those cute little charger. How do you get like a pen in there?
Yeah, you don't. That's the kicker.
Exactly.
So they're still kind of walking on that line where they're trying to like let marketing and the looks get an advantage.
Yeah.
But it's not really hitting all the practical and functional parts yet. I guess that's how we can describe Ferris wheel press.
but that's why they're very popular with, I think, calligraphy people because
they don't care.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter that much. And then the third thing that was super, super popular, which I'm going to get to now, is this little guy here. So this is the Kobayashi Bungukan strawberry, Shizuka strawberry. And didn't get to show too much of the details yesterday, but you can see here it's got these different shades of pink with a nice green finial here, which looks like a strawberry stem. And then on top of that, I'm going to now uncap the pen, and hopefully you can see.
There's
this is an M nib.
Strawberry. Oh, you got the M nib. Nice.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yes.
It actually says
I can also put
K.
a photo later too. It's a close-up of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it says K for Kobayashi Bungukan. So that's a nice touch.
With a little strawberry on the thing.
Yeah, so that was very good. And this has this kind of like meta shine. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a bit like golden as well when you look at it in the light. And I managed to talk also to Izumi Pens yesterday. I saw some of the new stuff that he's going to design, and it's very, very cool. One word, holographic. Okay, I'm going to end it there.
Kelly, did you hear him? Did you just glossed over? She didn't hear you.
No.
Okay, good.
Oh, I did. What's happening? What's
All right.
this?
This is the Bunga Box Progear Rialo, and what I
Yes.
had heard is that they weren't going to do any more translucent Rialos, but they did this one. Hope you can see that.
Did you snag the two that you wanted? Like, is it also a hot item at the show? This special pen?
Well, here's the thing. All the Zooms are sold out, and I like to buy Zooms because I've talked to Kaoru-san before, and I said, hey, I know there are a lot of scalpers out there. I'm not like trying to scalp your stuff. When I sell like your stuff, I want to make sure that it's value added. So I'm going to put up a grind on all the pens that I sell that come from you. So that's why I like to get Zooms. All the Zooms are sold out. They only made 100 of the pen.
Wow.
And yeah, it was a pretty popular pen. I think I got special permission to buy a few more.
Nice.
Nice. So that's okay. So we put out that disclaimer on the last episode where don't go at CY, but Patreon
Right.
members, you hear it here first.
Oh no, but they're all sold already.
Oh, okay then. All right, never mind. Don't go.
Right.
Don't go to him.
So I pretty much pre-sell every single pen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I am selling a large percentage, or I've sold already a large percentage of these pens. Let's put it that way.
I can imagine. CY,
Yeah.
CY, we didn't mention that in this whole thing. For those who know CY for the first time, he actually grinds his nibs. So that's why when he mentioned the zoom nibs, it's the larger nibs, and then he grinds them into. What is your specialty? The stacked nibs, kind of to.
Yeah, I'm trying to find.
What do you call it? Like the architect's grind?
So I make a grind that Sailor calls the Naginata grind.
Naginata
And
grind.
I can actually show you some right here. I'm gonna just put on my macro lens on my phone so y'all can see like a close up of that. Let me.
And it creates the most interesting line variation. Very popular for writing like kanji or Chinese because of the thinness and the broadness the same pen stroke could create. So it's really interesting. So that's why a lot of people really coveted CY's special grind, especially on interesting pens like these, because not too many other people do that.
So I'll show you several. Let's see. All right. So first we have the Yoseka pen here.
The origin.
It's the origin. And what I've done here is I've grounded to what I might describe as a Concord Naginata. So this is a reverse Naginata. It's a very fine needle point.
Ooh.
And then on the reverse, you can see that's very, very fat.
That's wild.
So that's one of them. And then a more standard Naginata grind might look something like... Let me grab it.
A little nib lesson here. Looking at these things in close-ups. It's really cool. I haven't had a grind nib yet, but Kelly, have you had the chance to try one of CY's rotating, what do you call it, the little thing that travels across the U.S. into everyone's hand?
I didn't try those, actually. No one ever sent them to me.
Because usually when it's sent somewhere, they never kept going. It's pretty amazing.
But Kelly, you have the VP unit that I fixed for you, right?
Yes. And I also have in my home the pen that my mom bought from you, which is CY's first Mont Blanc pen.
Oh, right, that one.
So this is a more standard Naginata.
Wow.
See, let me.
It's a big boy.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Why do
usually...
you need it that thick?
What do you call it? Not the tipping, the front part. I'm trying to really like say it in like a way. Like the front part usually isn't that thick, and so
Right, the
like,
tipping. Yeah,
the
it is the
tipping,
tipping. Yeah. So you can see it's like it's kind of like a sharp, pointy kind of shape, and this is very popular from me. And what I've been recently doing is I've been also stacking nibs, and I think that is probably one of the more interesting developments for me as a nib person.
Yes,
So,
those. I love seeing those on your micro lens.
so
It
this
kind of blows my
is
mind.
2 nibs welded together.
It's like wow. It's like a double nibbing. Sounds weird, but
That's right.
oh my goodness.
It kind of makes me uncomfortable a little bit, but I haven't actually written with one, so I'm
No,
sure it's probably a nice experience.
I've seen Toasty Tree wrote with one, and it's amazing. It's like really stunning.
Yeah.
The way the ink just like lays
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely.
And so there's like that. There's also stuff that I do with other brands that's kind of interesting. I mean, in my opinion. So the Pilot Music nibs, they have 3 tines at the bottom. So here's a Pilot Music nib
Oh,
that I stacked,
Holy
triple
mama.
layer.
God.
that is so cool.
Whoa.
That is amazing. See,
That's
here's the
insane.
question with the Tokyo International Pen Show. Do normal people like you go in and like have your own table or do something cool like that?
Yeah, so I could, but it costs money, right? So I've just not bothered to. I mean, I don't really have a customer base. So I think if I made like 100 pens, and then I say, hey, I'm going to buy a booth, right? That would work, but I've just not had the kind of investment power.
Got it.
Yeah. So let me show you this last one, which is a. Can you spotlight me again, please?
Okay, yeah. Let's zoom in on that thing.
All right.
Oh.
This blank.
Is that
nib.
a Shirogane?
No, this is actually a Kobayashi Bungukan Shizuoka tea.
Oh.
And April,
What? I'm scared.
it's green and gold.
Oh, it's that one. Oh,
I remember
okay.
this one. I think we talked about it, Kelly, in one of the previous
Yep.
episodes.
Yes, we
And
did.
the top finial is actually this cute little brown finial that we have here, with shimmer as well. Let me try to. Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
let us see. Oh yes, I remember this.
Look at that.
Wait,
So
what's on? Is it
cute.
just the anchor?
It's the anchor.
Yes, it's the anchor.
But the finial part has like a little bit of a amber shimmery thing.
Oh,
it's
man.
so beautiful.
Very, very beautiful. Let me know if you'd like to try it out.
Love it.
Gosh.
Yeah. But I've also noticed, I mean, you're in love with this melon soda, and I managed to snag this melon soda Ancora Build Your Own Sailor the other day for you, as well as these converters,
The special
which are
converter.
super, super cute.
Do you
But
think
I've
that's
also-
a trend too? That they start to kind of what do you
Oh
call
yeah,
it?
they're gonna have more. They're gonna have more.
Commoditize their existing things in
Yeah.
like series in summer. Like we were saying, we're calling it already cherry blossom season. Like,
Yeah,
And
definitely they're
sakura
gonna do that.
mochi.
like it's just gonna be a thing.
I also went to a couple stores out in Kansai, and I went to one called Pelepenna, and they are selling this cream soda.
Yes, I saw this too. Oh my goodness. CY knows me.
God,
And on top of that, when I went to Ancora to get the pen for you, they
It's that
also-
little grandfather, right? With the little
oh,
Yep.
oh,
drink thing. Yes.
There you go.
oh my God.
This one is melon soda.
So wait, those two are different, right? The one you just showed and this one's
Wait,
made
that's-
from different.
Yeah.
They're both
Yeah.
melon soda?
Yeah.
No, so one is cream soda and one
From-
is melon soda.
Slightly
Oh my
different,
God.
but similar drink.
I want to
Do we-
swatch them both next to each other.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do you want to see how they look next to each other?
Yes.
All right, so this is the first time that I've ever opened these inks,
Oh my goodness.
God.
What a treat.
and so I'm just gonna swatch them a bit with my fingertip.
And I was just telling Kelly that I'm not going to bother CY with ink because I don't want the hassle of shipping it abroad. But here we are, CY just swatching melon soda.
Just going to.
Insert them into my blood vessels. Seriously, that's what I want.
All right, so my lovely assistant here, Akane, has
Hello.
brought
Hi.
me a glass pen, and oh my god, look how beautiful
Oh, it's a
that
big fat
is.
boy.
Looks like a
Look at
bamboo.
how
I love
that is,
it.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
hi,
sorry,
Akane.
Hi Akane, they say. She says hi back.
Oh,
So I've actually just swatched the first one with my finger already. So that is melon soda,
that looks like melon soda.
Oh my goodness, that green.
Let's drink it. Oh,
and it's gonna come out.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of an angle with glass pens.
Oh, there we go.
yeah. Oh, is that the cream?
This is the cream soda.
Oh,
It's a little bit more of a blue-y side of the melon soda. I love both colors so much.
I actually like this cream soda. This cream soda quite a lot.
yeah.
All right, I might keep this one.
The melon soda looks like Moegi Iro a little bit by Kyono
Yeah.
Oto.
So, yeah, very cool inks. That's why I said at the beginning before we recorded I might make a sale on this recording.
You might. You just might. If you're willing to send ink abroad, then I am totally down to take
Yeah,
that off your hands.
Guys, please don't ask me to send ink.
That's exactly why I was thinking, you know.
Yeah, it's a hassle.
It is so much of a hassle.
Yeah.
I was thinking myself, like, you know, the Kobayashi Bunkukan had a bunch of beautiful Shizuoka inks that I
Yes.
wanted, and I can't wait for myself to get into
Yeah.
Japan sometime next year. And I want to physically visit Kobayashi Bunkukan.
Oh yeah. Let me know when you do, because I want to go with you.
The building with the three thing is kind of their iconic kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And one of our listeners actually shared a photo with Kelly and I.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, I just listened to the episode and I went there today, and I was just like, I'm so jealous of you.
Yeah. I've actually never been there, so I definitely am interested in going and heading out there.
That would be so
one day.
cool. Yeah, I think a
think-
business trip might be
Yeah.
in the plan.
You work for Travelers, right? I mean, you should come here,
I
visit.
know.
visit the-
Once the limitation lifts, you
Right.
know, it's definitely gonna be a thing.
But business travelers only have to quarantine for 3 days now.
That's what I heard. Yeah. So they just have to help me secure a business visa. That's the thing, though. Like,
Oh my
I don't
God.
think that's
Wow.
as
Right.
easy to get because technically I don't work for the Design Field Japan. I work for Design Field America.
Right.
So it's
right.
it's a different thing. So that was really cool. What's your favorite thing from the show? Like your own purchase? Ooh, what are those?
Right. Before we go there, let me just show you also some of the other things that I've been doing.
The
So
cool
this
projects. I saw
Yeah.
this on your Instagram story.
is a Moonman T1, and what this pen is, I'll show you. Originally, it came out in like aluminum, but I have this brass version. This is the antique brass. This is what you can buy from the store. Then I did several modifications. The first one I did is I engraved it in a karakusa pattern.
Wow.
So this is polished brass. And so this will patina with time, but you can see I even did the inside.
You even did the
that's
the piston
fun.
part. Nice.
Yep. And then I did one where I did not polish off the finish. So you can see that pattern much more.
And
again,
against the antique brass color.
yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So pretty.
And then yesterday, 2 days ago, I went out and I did a chrome plating. So this is silver.
It does look a
Wow.
little bit shinier. Nice.
yeah.
How long does that engraving takes you?
So each pen probably takes about 10 hours.
Wow.
And that's what they call craftsmanship. Seriously, the time and the effort and
Yeah.
the heart put into these things.
So people have been saying, hey, I want to buy the pen. I'm like, do you want to spend $700 on it?
Because that's the hourly rate.
Yeah. And then you asked what my favorite thing from the show was. And I only bought really this pen for myself at the show. This is a Vermeil Douai Burgundy 146 Mont Blanc. So what's interesting about this pen is that you can see here I have a small selection of various 1x6, and the reason why I say 1x6 is because this is a 136 from the 40s. This is a 146 from the 50s, and these are more modern 146 shapes. So for those of you who don't know, 146 is the line from Mont Blanc. This is the kind of like flagship line, and it started, the 146 series started in the 50s, the 136 started in the 40s, and you can see here, here I'm going to show you. Look at that beautiful translucency.
Wow.
Window, man,
Yeah.
Nice.
so beautiful.
So this is the older version, and I'm thinking of getting maybe urushi on the cap because it's getting discolored. So there's that, and then this is my 146, which you can see again, long window.
Pretty.
And then
Looks like
here,
good noodles over there.
yeah, it's my lunch.
Getting distracted.
This is my Bokmondoed 146,
Wow, look at that.
and there's a little diamond inset.
Whoa,
the
jeez,
top.
bougie.
Yep. And I still need to plate the trim silver. And yesterday when I was at the show, I saw this pen, and it was like $700 which is actually a very good price for the pen. People are selling this pen for like over thousands of
Oh, I
dollars,
can imagine that. Yeah.
yeah, and it's a discontinued color and a discontinued finish.
Wow.
And I called it a vermeil doué. What people might not understand is a vermeil. Vermeil means that it's silver plated with gold. So here you can see the hallmark right there. It says 925 right there.
Oh, yeah.
A little hallmark.
Wow.
Cool.
And I saw this and I was like, okay, it's a good price, but do I need it? And
Yes.
The answer's
originally I was like, but I already have a burgundy. So I said to the shopkeeper, I said, okay, sell me this pen. Tell me why I should buy it.
Yes.
And he's like,
Sell
oh,
me.
well,
I hate when
it's
people
in a-
say that to me.
He's like, oh, it's a burgundy color. And I was like, I already have burgundy colored 146 right here. And he's like, oh yeah, but it's a doué. I'm like, yeah, it's a doué. It's pretty cool. I don't have a metal capped 146 yet, but let's see. And what really got me is, can you see that each of these 146 pens are different sizes?
Exactly. I was kind of actually comparing it to the one on the right. Like it's a little bit close to that, but still a little bit shorter than it.
Yeah. So the clip of the cap is a bit shorter. Here you can see. So the celluloid 146 is the smallest one. Originally it was this size, and then they made it a little bit longer in the plastic version. Now, why these two red ones are different sizes is very interesting. There is a pen called the 147, and that's called the Traveler. So 146 was called the Legrand, and then the 147 was called the Traveler. Now the Traveler was theoretically the same size as the 146, used the same nib. However, it was not a piston filler. It fit instead two cartridges, so you can put two cartridges back to back inside inside the pen. But this size 146 was not long enough to do that. Therefore, they made the 147 a little bit longer, and then they made the 146 a little bit longer to match that size.
So this one was a failed experiment, and they improved upon that.
I wouldn't say it's a failed experiment because that came later, right? But but I thought, hey, wouldn't it be cool to have like a small collection of 146
various
size pens?
sizes.
Yeah, you have a little bit of pen history here. So that's why I bought the pen mainly. Also, it's beautiful. So that's
It-
I'll have
it
to
is-
keep that. I'll have to keep that tactic in my brain if someone asks me that. Why should I buy this? Well, it's a different size than this other one.
And then I also want to
You
show
want a
you-
collection, right? Oh, nice. Look at that. Oh my
That's
goodness.
This
The
is this is a
groovings.
Visconti that I bought the other day.
It
in
looks like a
stacked celluloid.
Parker.
Yeah, so what's very interesting is that Italian companies copied the U.S. companies a lot in the early days. So this is what they call Manhattan celluloid, Wall Street celluloid. But this was obviously copied from the Parker 51 mathematics. And this is very rare material. I was very lucky to get this. And I, being the bad person that I am, on my Visconti, I put a sailor nib.
Because it's better. Nice.
Yeah. This pen came to me like totally broken. Like I removed the cap here, the blind cap here, and this thing just came off. So I had to.
Oh, that's
had
the
to
one
fix
you were
it.
talking
Yeah.
about. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Nice.
Visconti quality. And then there's my Aurora. This is the Mount Fuji. And I think April, you'll like this,
This
because
is a
I think you
gorgeous
like
pen already. Yes.
yeah, the
Does it
little
have it on
details.
I do. Oh my goodness! Look at that! Oh, the little foot. And then it has to have the round circle above it, like the sun.
Yeah.
I love
So
it.
I wish that this had a red finial instead, because I think that would just
That
make
would
it
have just like
perfect.
Yeah.
matched.
I'm on the hunt. I'm on the hunt for a red finial.
Wow.
And then this is a Sun Moon Lake. 日月潭.
Yes,
So
it's a
April-
place in Taiwan. It's where my grandmother lives.
Oh, cute.
I've always wanted to get married there. It's really pretty,
Oh.
but I lost the opportunity because I already got married.
You can retroactively have a ceremony there.
Yeah, exactly.
Where-
And you know, like, I'm a sucker for these things, so I saw this and I was like, it's $800, but I'll get it.
So wait, someone like which place? Is that's a sailor, right?
No, this is
No.
an Aurora.
Aurora. Oh, okay. So did they do any other like Taiwanese kind of?
These two are Auroras.
I see.
They're pretty.
Very, very pretty. So I think the next stage in Japanese stationery is probably like going to appropriate Taiwanese places.
I'm looking at Aurora Summer Lake now to see if I can find a second one.
Oh my god.
They are pretty rare. Also,
They
that pen is mine,
are.
so give it back to me.
Ooh, pretty.
Yeah, Akane is not happy with me. Okay, fine. Okay, I gave it back to her. She gave me this look. So I was like, okay, fine.
Nice.
And then, of course, there is the Agatha Christie, which is
Yes.
so pretty.
The
That's the
snake.
one
Okay.
Mont Blanc pen that I actually think is cool.
I mean,
Like that series.
they have the newer ones, which are they're the heritage ones, right? The heritage Rouge et Noir. I had both of those. I had the red one and the black one, but I sold them both. I don't know if you can see the snake. Can we see the little snake? Not yet.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah.
Along
Yeah.
the
Oh,
nip.
cute.
There's the head.
Yeah,
of
that's
this-
really cool. Oh wait, let's take a look at this ink some more. It's drying.
Oh, there's this cool blue sheen on the
Ooh, on the melon
the
soda.
melon soda. Okay, maybe. Sorry, I'm not making a
Dope.
sale.
You're just keeping both of
yeah,
them. It's
keeping both
fine.
of
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what would be nice if you can swatch them on a piece of paper and just send that to me too, and
Yeah.
I'll just keep it on in my Hobonichi as like a
Just a swatch.
just a commemorative swatch. I'll be happy with that. with your cool stack nibs, that would be nice. Swatch with those. That is so awesome. Oh
Yeah,
man.
that one. Sorry. Yeah, the one on the very edge. Yeah. So I have here also. Thank you. I have here also the
Ooh.
1912. It's
That's
a
a
very
fat
cool
boy.
pen. Again, a Mont Blanc. So I am somewhat of a Mont Blanc fanboy, let's say, even though I hate what they do with their pens. I absolutely hate their pens. So this
Oh, it's a safety
is-
pen.
Oh, well, it's an homage to a safety pen.
Oh.
So comes out, and I swapped the nib, so it has a little snake nib right there. So cute.
Nice.
And this is actually a piston filler. So the way you fill it is that on the back.
That's good.
Do the little thing.
See what I just did?
Yeah.
Just pull it
Yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to get a custom body around this. Back you go.
What a cool
Go back,
pen.
little snaky.
See, these are the things that I don't get to like see a lot until that San Francisco pen show. Like that was actually my first show too, and when I got to
Yeah.
actually touch something outside of like Twisby Sailor, the Pilot Platinum that I'm used to. So this is really cool. Kind of a tour
Yeah.
into CY's world.
Let me show you a bit more.
Ooh.
So here, this is one of the great
Did you end up buying
US
that box, by the way? You were saying that you were, when you came onto the Stationery Cafe episode, you were saying you were saving to buy this pen storage box thing.
Oh,
And that was like last year. there it is.
Whoa.
It's massive.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
So this is one of my favorite pens. I bought it from a man called Stacy Hills. He's absolutely fantastic. He's Paper Wants a Pen on Instagram, and he does these awesome restorations. Now, Kelly, do you know what this is?
It looks like a Parker. No, it
This-
looks like a Schaefer.
Yes, this is a Schaefer Triumph, and you can see under light. I don't know if we can see the translucency, but
Yeah.
very hard. Anyways, it is translucent, and I'm just gonna uncap it. Look at that nib.
Oh, wow. It's like one with the thing again.
Yeah, it's very
Nice.
cool. Let's see if I can get the focus. Camera. No, it doesn't want to focus.
By the way, that nib just reminded me. CY, do you own a Pilot Mew? I'm just curious.
I do, and I sold it.
Ah,
I advertised it on my Instagram.
yeah, maybe I remember that. I'm just curious. I mean, we still have one at the shop, but I don't know.
Are you? No, Kelly. No, don't be
What?
adopting orphans again.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I have to wait for people to see it first.
These are twins.
Cute.
Oh, cute.
So this is a pelican.
Okay, I was gonna say that looks like a pelican.
Yeah, and this is just a regular gold nib. Oh, I'm also a gold nib snob, so I don't have stainless steel nibs.
when CY picked me up the build your own sailor thing, he was like, April, do you want to switch it to a gold nib? And I'm like,
Yes.
Come on, this flat steel nib.
Those nibs are so lame. Let
he
me
was
just
like
say.
looking down his nose on that, and now I'm like, oh, should I just happen to it?
Okay, let's have a vote. We live in democracies, right?
Like, wait, this is a 2 against 1 situation.
We live in democracies. Anyways, jokes aside, April, I think you might appreciate this. These are a set of demonstrator Pelican M800s, and what's interesting is you know demonstrators as transparent pens, right? But
Yes.
demonstrators originally were not necessarily transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they were just pens with like cutouts, and then they were made for salespeople to explain to the
The
customer what each parts are.
Mm-hmm.
So this one has the names of each part
The actual
engraved.
labeling of the
Yeah.
anatomy of the pen. That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
And then I have the traditional Chinese and the English
The
version.
English version.
Yeah,
That's
and
pretty cool.
this traditional Chinese version only came out in M800, which is the gold trim. So I've plated that into silver
A
trim
silver
because I just
trim.
think it looks a lot better like that.
Silver is superior.
I don't necessarily agree, but this is a wild pen. I mean
Oh,
Ooh.
wow.
this is what we call
That
Arco
text-
Bronze.
That texture.
I don't even know what that is.
This is Arco Bronze, one of the very coveted Omas
Oh.
materials. And again, let's see if we can see some transparency. We can.
Oh yeah, in the ink window.
Yep.
Cool.
Oh, and this pen is fantastic. I know I'm just like kind of showing off right now, but this is a
We love it.
Mondo pen. This is custom 823. It says 743 on the cap because I used a different cap, but this is an 823. And what I've done here is I've actually Rodin and gold dust with transparent urushi. You can see
Jesus.
that. You can see here,
Wow.
right? There, it is transparent. You can see the ink level.
Yes.
And if you look here, what I've done is I've taken a music nib. I don't know if you can see that. I've taken a music nib and put a over tab on it. And I've actually made it flexible. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, wow. Fun.
So if you can see how it flexes
Yeah,
out.
that's
Yeah, so-
super fun.
This is a work in progress. I'm probably going to try to flex it a bit more. But yeah, these are some of the projects that I like to work on.
Wow.
Love it. I
Dude, that blue sheen on that ink is really coming out.
Yeah, I know, right?
Oh my god, I can just see it in the background.
over here. Because melon
So
soda
dope.
is sometimes kind of green, sometimes the bluer version of it. So
It's actually a little bit gray too. This sheen. Like I can't really make out what color exactly this is, but
oh, there it
So
goes.
pretty. I almost want to say it's blue blackish.
yeah, it is. It is.
Electric blue y.
Yeah,
So
pretty
pretty.
cool.
Wow. Those are super fun.
And then last Bokumondo.
Bakumondo. Oh my goodness.
This is a very popular finish now. That I asked her to develop for me, and also
Wow.
I think Dan Don from New York asked for the same finish at the same time as me. So we were the first ones with this finish,
Wow.
and this has become very, very popular.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. That's oh, do we want to see some sailors?
Oh.
No. Of course.
Well, since we're here, let's just take a gander.
Oh.
Oh my god, that
is
blue.
Pentanote's Honto no Hoshizora, which I have had Hiroko do a rod and finial for me.
Oh wow, look at that.
Whoa.
Look at that. It's crazy. And then it
Nice.
has a cross point on it, just a standard cross point. And then I have the Kobe Fire Force Rialo. Kobe Fire Force Rialo.
Oh my god, that is so bright. Why does it do that?
Metal section. Food in it.
Whoa. Did it come with a metal section?
Yes.
Oh wow. That's
Very, very
interesting.
cool. And then let's see. So we're gonna venture into Akane's collection.
Oh. Pretty colors.
Yes. Akane has taste. Oh, no.
Well,
No,
I
you're
bought most
right.
of these, so
These are beautiful.
Are
So-
they all? No, they're not all Rialos. Just the one on the end.
Yeah, these four are the Hachimonjias that everybody wants. This is
Yeah.
the Kurage, the jellyfish. This is Ginzan. This is Amethyst, and this is Kubozakura.
Oh, they're
And
so
I
pretty.
think it's so weird that the cap bands aren't the same on this series.
That's interesting. Yeah, why wouldn't they do it the same
Yeah.
way?
I don't know.
It's the
and then
same as this one.
yeah,
I
but this
like
is from
this.
Pinpoint. I like this
Right.
cap band a lot more actually. I don't like this
Oh,
cap
what?
band.
I think
I like
pretty.
this cap band. I think it's just like having it separate shows a little bit more craftsmanship for me. Yeah.
Like
So-
this
so-
one. Oh wait,
yeah.
I'm not showing you right. The one where it's like it has a little bit more underneath it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
camera
yeah.
sucks.
And then moving on. So these are Rialos.
Ah!
That green.
So we have the Pinpoint one here. This is their lavender one. This one is their Amegaeru, which is very, very cool. You can see here, this is the Pentanoto. I think this is Shineha no Akari, which I turned into a fude.
Nice.
Oh, do you want to see how fude's right?
No, we can show it to the viewers. Fude is actually one of the first nibs I ventured into before I even knew about fountain pens because of the urban sketching preferences. A lot of the artists don't know fountain pen talk, but they know Fude because they like the varying lines.
It's very hard to write while trying to take a video, but let me.
So pretty.
Very, very hard to write while I take a video. But anyways, that's fude. So let me just show you how that's thin, and then you can get gradually thicker.
Based on the
Nice.
angles, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a cool pen. I forgot I actually did a fude on this. There's the Bunga Box one that we already talked about. We don't need to talk about that again. This pen is seriously coveted.
Look
This
at that
has
glitter.
well, you can see how large
wow.
these glitter particles are in comparison to the Bunga Box one.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
see it just when it was far away, like the
Yeah.
little white sparks, the white
So
sparks.
these are the largest glitter particles that they've done. And that's the metal section right there. So
So where's that from?
this is the Shishikura Sirius Blue.
I remember hearing something about that
Yeah.
being the largest glitter particle
Yeah.
that they
These
would be
go-
willing to go.
These go crazy money. This I think I sold them for like $700. And this is the Shishikura Saihyo, which was the latest one.
Ah, that one. It's very similar to Connie's, but hers is like pink on the top, I think. With the
I was
early
literally
Yeah.
just thinking
It's-
about that.
It's in the same series actually. That one is the Yozakura,
the Yozakura. I see.
yeah.
See.
and that's the spring pen. This is the winter pen, and then it had the autumn, and now we're just waiting for summer.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So this is that kind of. And then she has also. Sorry, I'm just going through the show and tell here. This one.
See, this is
cute.
lovely. Like I love how we are normalizing having a huge collection of pens. We are kind of.
That's the one that Miranda has.
Oh, Pikachu!
Pikachu.
The sterling
cool.
silver one.
Yeah, really, really nice nib, by the way. Very, very nice.
From Pilot.
From
Pilot, of
yeah.
course.
Pilot makes the best pens. And then this is another Pikachu pen, Pikachu Lamy,
So cute.
which we've upgraded to a gold nib because
Nice.
steel
Because
nibs are not allowed to live in my house.
CY has standards.
I love that.
I'm sorry mine stayed so long in your home.
And then we have
Mm.
ta-da.
Ooh.
Platinum.
Yeah, this is the platinum Rokka.
Oshino. Or whatever.
This is the Rokka with the faceted.
Oh wow, look at that
Yeah.
texture.
And I believe what I did here is I actually put a special converter in here. I don't know if you can see.
Ooh, it's got
Whoa.
the little
Oh my
star
God.
snowflakey
Yeah.
thingies. Beautiful. And
She's
you
spoiled.
can kind of see through. It's kind of like a chandelier effect now.
Yeah. And then we have some Franklin Christophs, which are pretty cool. Esterbrook
love that
SD Sea Glass. Very, very good pen.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Um,
But you don't have a steel nib on there.
no, I have a Pilot Gold nib on there.
Does it fit Pilot nibs?
Well, I did some
You made it so.
work. Yeah.
You made them work.
So there's that, and there's this like craze in the U.S. right now for like custom resins.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite companies right now is Leonardo because they do like really cool like stuff. And here is
Mm.
Primary Manipulation 1. Look at all those colors.
Now that looks like unicorn barf.
Unicorn barf.
Which is
It
up
does.
Kelly's alley.
Yeah, I love that.
Oh wow.
This is a huge pen too.
It is huge.
Yeah. And this one, oh my god, this one I love. 'Cause it's
Oh my
such
God.
a funky pen.
How long
Whoa.
that is. What a cool pen.
So long.
It looks
This
a
is
little
a
bit like
pen
a
peep.
like a wand actually.
Yeah.
How
And
thin
this
it
is Labradorite. There's a real
Oh,
rock in
It's an
here.
actual gem in
Dope.
there. Nice.
Yeah. And then if we open it up, we get
Imagine holding that. I'm like trying to imagine that length.
yeah.
It's kinda like
It is
hold-
actually very comfortable.
a thin, like long fountain pen.
Yeah. And what's on the other side? Oh, more sailors on the other side.
This is
my gosh.
a sailor
oof.
plenty
We're
household.
looking at the fleet.
So let's see. Oh,
Oh,
this is
cute.
Kambasuiden.
Oh, I know that one. Pretty.
Very, very beautiful. It goes for quite a lot now. This is her first fountain pen.
Isn't
This
that
is-
April's first?
The Shikiori Chameleon
Yep.
Snow.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is my first sailor. Not my first fountain pen, my first sailor.
Yeah.
That was your wedding pen.
My wedding pen.
Oof.
And the Yozakura. I have that
And this
one
is the
too.
Ancora version.
Oh,
This has
right.
the white
Nice.
petals.
It's the one and with the blue thingies.
Yeah, with the blue tsubomi.
Yes.
Here, oh, this is the Twinkle Stardust.
Nice.
Last year's
Ah.
Tips pen has a
Oh,
rod infinity.
that was last year's Tips pen. I forgot
Yep.
about that. The Twinkle. For some reason, I keep thinking that the other Milky Way is like the twin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It came out like a different time. Okay.
Yeah, that was weird.
Right? Like they had it as a Tips pen, and then they came out with like a companion pen in the middle of no.
Yeah, that
like-
was really weird.
Oh,
Oh,
this-
this one maybe you'll
Ooh.
like.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
look at that! What is that effect
Jesus.
called again? With the little the
Rodden?
oyster. What's
Yeah,
like
Rodden.
the shells.
Yeah, Rodden.
Yeah.
Oh my
And
god.
I believe this is the Altair from Bunga Box as well.
How
the
much
Vega.
does that
This is the
run?
Vega. This is the kind of pen that you can't buy if you had money.
Jesus.
We're not even allowed to know.
Yeah.
we have to have money first.
Oh my
No, you
god.
no you even if you had money, you couldn't buy it.
Oh, I see. Oh my goodness.
Wow, what's up with all these beautiful pens?
So this is very interesting. This is actually a pro color. So this is their steel nib lineup. But
Ah.
this finish is called Hoshizuku. I wish they just brought this out in the regular lineup. This would sell like hotcakes, I think.
It does very galaxy-y, like kind of that blue purple undertone.
Mini fude.
See, so here's the thing. See, that was one of my ending question was like, what do you see? Where do you see this trend going? Like, we've been complaining here in the U.S. that the pen styles have been kind of monotonous, and in
Right.
Japan it's just like.
we
I
never
feel
get
like-
any of this cool shit you're
I feel like
showing
the
us right now.
standards is raising though. So do you think it's gonna go? Are they gonna? Here, I guess what I'm trying to ask is the fountain pen community trying to go even more niche and becoming like more unique in style, or are they trying to go more broad and trying to reach more people to get into the fountain pen world? Like,
right.
What
Yeah.
what is this? Where do you see it?
I think the stationery I mean, this part of the stationery industry is very immature because there's not scale. So I used to work at a company that you might have heard of. It's called Gucci.
I didn't know you worked there.
Yeah, I used to work there up until this year, and there's an idea of a customer life cycle, right?
Yeah.
And you don't just target one part of that cycle. So I'll give you Tiffany's as an example, right? Tiffany's is a jeweler, and they have stuff that costs like $50 up to like $50,000.
My glasses is Tiffany.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, but why do they do that? They do that because they target like different segments, so you can grow old with Tiffany. I think what the stationery industry and the players here need to understand is that there's a mass market, and there's also a market of enthusiasts who are willing to pay more than a premium for these products. And I think you need to have several you need to have different divisions that are targeting each of that like market sector. So even for example within design fill, I think it's fine that there's and it's a prudent financial choice to go after the mass market, but at the same time you have to understand that the core of your audience is actually, right now a lot of the people are like the more enthusiastic people. So maybe you have a separate team that makes stuff just for those people, right? And it doesn't have to be a big team.
Like
You don't
the-
have to release stuff every
Like the
3
Moomin
weeks.
release, but if only
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
if only it wasn't just Japan only. I mean, it's annoying. They're not targeting the more mature audience outside of
Right.
Japan. They're only serving
Right.
Japanese.
But I have to ask the question is that decision made in Japan or is that decision made in the US? Because I have a feeling that decision is actually not made in Japan. Japan couldn't care less if you sold Moomin. I mean, they want their exclusive Moomin, but are people in the US saying, "Hey, we want to have like our collaboration with like I don't know, Winnie the Pooh or something like Pikachu. I don't know. I don't know what it is." And then you'd obviously have to justify that with the numbers, but but I'm wondering if the industry in the U.S. right now, if they're seeing like brick and mortars are dying off, you know, technology is kind of like overtaking analog. So where are the numbers? Where's that business justification to do that? And
Oblation's been doing really well.
yeah, Oblation's been doing well, but I think like if you're a manufacturer or you're a distributor, right? Like, what are you going to focus on? Are you focused on the money making like mass products, or are you going to focus on the more niche products that might not make a lot of money but engenders brand loyalty? I think that's a conversation that you have to have as a distributor, as a sales arm of whatever big manufacturer that you are, and then make those decisions.
I wonder if that's why Sailor Pen North America is like they're trying to go broad first with like the safe colors, like that one that was really pretty, Kelly, that we talked about, the one that looks like a lipstick, like the pink.
Oh yeah.
The autumn one.
Autumn sky.
That one appeals to a lot of people without being really too special.
Yeah.
Like,
and to be fair, it is really pretty. I'm not mad about that one.
Like it's like that one's the classical pretty one, right? Like, so that's the kind I was thinking with the fountain pen thing. Like, but just stop with the blue and blacks, please. Like, really.
It's so tired. It's so boring. It's just like how you're showing off all these dope ass Rialo pens, and I'm pretty sure in the US we can only get black or burgundy or like literally those two. That's all that's available.
I really want to interview Don from Itoya. Like, I just want to ask him, like...
I feel like he would probably talk to you. I mean, even if it's just private, you know?
Yeah. Like, I'm sure I can talk to him, but, like, I've just not gotten off my lazy butt to do that. But I want to ask him, like, hey, like, what's the deal with only introducing these, like, random weird colors? And I'm sure they sell. Like, I'm sure there's a market for that. I'm not saying that you should stop doing that, but, like, why not add some more stuff?
Fun.
And... I actually think like Gold Spot's new exclusive, that's pretty cool. I think Goulet's Stealth Green.
I mean,
yeah, it's blue, but it's got the white finial, right? It's got the cream finial.
If they had done like the white stripe somewhere along the body, that would have been really cool. That would really match the car that they were trying to go.
But that one's prettier. It's got sparkles.
I mean, that one had like a metallic shine. Where I'll put up a photo so people know what we're talking about. But still, no, you're right. I do think like it's the retailers that's coming out with the cool colors that they collaborated with. Like, so
like Yoseika's is so cool.
And you have to understand that like distributors are interested in like just the end sales, but retailers are interested in differentiation.
That's right. Exactly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go to the retailers and be like, hey, let's do some more interesting stuff. And I don't know if I should say it on air, so I'll say it after the recordings.
And cut it right here for our listeners. Perfect.
Anyways, it's been great talking to you, and yeah, I'm very excited to rewatch this episode on the Patreon.
So, okay, wait, before you go, there's just one more question that I had. I had a few questions that I didn't get to ask, but I think...
Just ask them all. Ask them all.
Kelly's burning question. Lightning mode.
Lightning. Okay, hold on. Okay. 1, do you put shimmer inks in gold nib pens?
Yes.
I guess the question or the answer is yes, because that's all you use.
That's right. In hindsight.
Are Mont Blanc inks worth the price, and why not?
No. I mean, inks are inks. Like, whether they're... I think Diamond is the best ink maker out there.
I was about to say,
Yeah.
They have competitive prices. If you buy... This is a awfully kept secret, but if you don't already know this, buy it directly from diamond.com or diamond.co.uk. I don't know.
I know, it's so cheap, Kelly. You have
so cheap.
It's
Really?
like $3 per bottle.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
For like
serious?
a $50 bottle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, we sell it for so cheap at Oblation, but that's good to know.
Yeah. Buy it from Oblation or
It's okay.
Right,
Kelly's
nice.
her boss is not watching this, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, one of my we sort of touched on your whole situation earlier, but like what inspires you to want to help the less fortunate of us acquire our Grail pens from Japan? Like, what? Because I know that you do get a cut, but I feel like it's probably not very much, and I feel like you do it out of the kindness of your heart. but what else is there? You know,
This is actually great. Well, the answer is money, obviously. I'm just kidding. No, I think access shouldn't be. I don't agree with gatekeeping the cool stuff in Japan, right? So I think like if somebody wants
proliferation,
cool,
right? Like it should be available.
Yeah.
But not those
that.
that does like the crazy markups though. Like there are a lot of brands, shops, not brands, shops that does the.
We won't name them here. If you want to know, DM me.
Yes.
Yeah, we've talked about.
We have a list
before.
But I think like my pricing structure is very transparent. I take $1 to $100, $1 to 100 yen conversion, and then I take a 10% commission. So everybody knows exactly what they're going to get. They know what they're paying, and I don't take more than that. I don't take less than that. For new pens, for old pens, it's a bit different because sometimes you can't find them. Maybe I don't want to sell stuff like that, right? So there are several reasons. The first, and I kind of talked about bringing the information to a Western audience or to an English-speaking audience earlier. But my secondary motivation was to kind of keep myself I used to work in marketing technology, and I wanted to kind of stay in the space in my own way, so that if I wanted to go back, I'd be able to say, hey, like these are things I've done. I've been able to reach X number of customers. And
so it's just for the resume.
I mean,
no, I mean that makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense though. I feel like you want to be familiar with I think these are all really crucial skills as a person, to be in the know, to be like on the ground, and then also relaying and keeping updated with information like these. So
I mean, I've sold over 100K of pens this year. So
that's incredible.
That's a lot of pens, right? I mean, I'm sure you've sold more. I hope you've sold more. You've got to justify that paycheck. But I'm doing this on the side. It's crazy from where we started to where we are now. And the reason why I said that's a good question is I am going to talk tomorrow to one of my friends whose brother wants to be like a craftsman, and we want to bring Japanese fabrics to the pen community. So this is one of my pen pouches.
Nice.
Right? And this one is a fan holder, which I'm using to hold a pen.
That's so dope.
It's like we call it a sheath, a pen sheath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to take kimono fabrics. I want to take Japanese fabrics, like maybe like some denim in the future, but mostly I want to focus on kimono fabrics right now. Make pen cases, make notebook covers, and introduce that to the Western market. And I think what I've done here has given me a base of customers who I can reach out to me like, hey, I've got this dope thing. It's made by a Japanese craftsman. Like it's going to be like, I don't know, $50 to $80. I don't know how much it's going to be priced for yet. And the things that like Galen Leather is doing with leather, TSL is doing with leather. I want to do that with fabric, with like kimono fabrics. So stay tuned. I'm going to have this talk with them tomorrow, and hopefully we're going to get some samples by the end of the year and start this off next year. I'll think about
your Instagram fans.
I'll send you some samples, maybe.
K&A. We like kimono.
Okay, wait. So there's one last question I have that's a divisive question. Just kidding.
Go ahead.
So, do you prefer?
Don't post.
I think I know the answer. But do you like Plotter or Traveler's Notebook better?
I don't like Traveler's Notebook. I'm sorry. I will tell you why.
I will
tell you why.
Hot take.
Because Traveler's Notebook has the knot on the back of the cover.
Oh yeah.
So when you're writing,
that's the thing.
it gets in the way. Whereas there's this company called Endless in India, and they've actually moved it to the spine.
I think I heard about them. Yeah.
Before. It's a Traveler's company like copy, but they have their knot at the spine, so it doesn't intervene when you're writing and then there's like that awkward bump.
And that's why a lot of the makers in the US too they kind of like moved it to the spine, which is
That's
how it's like that.
Same with this one.
Is
I
that the
bought
one
at
you
the
got
pen
at the
show.
pen show? Yes, that one.
The one that was like right across from your guys' booth, and I was like, "Sorry, Yuri, you guys don't make A5."
Sorry, this is very pertinent because Kelly, do you know what an obidome is? Obidome. Say go on Google and search OBI.
Obi,
DOME.
Isn't Obi the thing in the
Obi
sash or something like that?
I know what Obi is, but I don't know what.
Let
dome
me
is.
share my screen so you can see.
Okay.
All right, so these are obidomes. It's something like this.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So
Like
it
a
is
little
the
brooch
sash,
thing.
The sash
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
How cool would it be to have something like a traveler's notebook with an obidome on it, and then you can have these little charms? That is part of my idea for
100%.
my new
The
here
book
for it.
covers.
notebook. Yeah,
I expect
Kimono
to be one
covers.
of the first customers, like first 10.
Better pinch your pennies then.
Save up for 2022. Another year of savage damage to our wallets because stationery just doesn't stop.
April, don't tell this to Traveler's company, okay? I don't want them to steal my
No,
idea.
I am very neutral outside of work hours. I have
Not on the clock.
I have London gift tees, Traveler's notebook covers.
Yeah, it's
with the
plus,
beautiful
like,
carving of the leaf one. Kelly, have you seen that one with the green one?
Yes,
With
it's so pretty.
so good. Again, it's
So
great.
I'm a
plotter fan.
plotter gang.
I am a plotter gang more than a Traveler's
Nice.
notebook fan.
Yeah, but we talked about plotters like 2 years ago, actually.
I know, and it's
And
just like
now it's finally-
it didn't caught on because it wasn't available. So it's great that they actually wanted to be in the U.S. this year.
Yeah.
And you know what's really cool is that this shows there's a huge appetite for Japanese like products. There's a huge appetite for like some of these funkier stuff, and that Traveler's Notebook just didn't bring it to the U.S. for like 5 years, and once they brought it, it was like, oh, actually this is a hit. I think same thing for pens. Going back to your question earlier, right? Like, why don't you just try it then? Like just do one release. It's going to set you back several $1,000s, but whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Man,
Oblation exclusive.
Oblation exclusive what? Traveler's
Yes.
notebook or fountain pen?
No, Oblation's exclusive sailor pen called Oblation Olive.
Like
Just the ink.
I know, Kelly. Why haven't you guys
Yes.
gotten on that yet? Like, I mean, I'm waiting.
So the reason is because they only want to work with like brands that can like order a buttload of pens all at once, and we
what's a
typically
But you say
don't?
Oblation's doing well. I mean,
what's a buttload? Like
Kelly,
I don't
200
know,
pens.
something like 1,000 pens.
and
No.
not that
They
many.
didn't
I don't
have that
I
many
don't
before.
think Yoseika did that many.
Yeah.
And in fact,
Oh.
I feel like if you guys do it, it's gonna be such big marketing to Oblation.
I think
Like,
you're right. I think we
like,
should just do it.
You have no idea.
200.
I think the crowd is gonna like come.
Yeah.
And then you guys will not know what hit you. Like Jennifer would be like, "Who are these people?" And you're like, "They're out there this whole time."
It's almost like I've mentioned this to you like 5 times, but it's fine.
Didn't Yoseika also do the
Oh,
special
yeah.
finial?
They did.
Yeah, and that costs more too.
Yeah,
So-
they did. I'm so pissed.
So I mean,
And
seriously,
you didn't get one too.
I think there was one that was being sold on Reddit or something. Maybe do you want me to let you know if I see one for sale?
Yes,
Okay, now I know. I didn't let you know because I was like,
because
oh, maybe
I'm
I can't show it. This camera
I'm
is bad.
sad that I didn't buy it. Actually, I was like, oh, paying retail hurts, and now I'm like, oh, it's worth it.
I have the stealth green from Goulet.
Oh, that
and
one's
it's
so good too. Oh.
Yeah. So I'm just waiting to
200
collect Oblations Olive
Oblation
now.
Olive.
That's like
'Cause
the
it's-
next one. So make it
Yeah.
happen. Make it happen, Kelly. will
Make
you?
it happen,
Okay,
Kelly,
I'll do
and
it.
then at the same time,
Sell
what you're
all the
gonna do-
Zoom nibs to CY. That's what he wants.
No. But hear me out. You're gonna buy a bunch of plotters, and then you're gonna hot stamp Oblation's logo onto the plotter and make an Oblation plotter olive.
Without letting Plotter know about it ahead of time.
I mean, we don't have.
You've got an in.
Do we have an olive color? I think we have like a matcha green one, but it's right now it's limited to that store, Koto something.
Yeah, but
Right
you
now,
just need the
Can
leather,
they
right?
stop?
Like,
Yeah.
you just need leather. Just find some olive colored leather and give a bunch to April, and April will make it happen.
Just make it happen.
Yeah, April, make it happen. We know you can do it.
Yeah.
We all have homeworks for next year. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, CY, for hanging out with us. It was so much fun learning about
you.
all the cool pens, and you're learning about Tokyo
Yes.
International Pen Show, and sharing a little tidbit about your expertise in the pen world. And we look forward to hearing more in Tokyo Inklings and the exciting things you have in store for us.
Thanks a lot. This was a blast, and I'll talk to you next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right,
Bye.
cheers.